About 3 weeks of fall still remain, and yet as we approach December, those beautiful, rich colored leaves are quickly disappearing. I gathered a few while I was out on a walk earlier in the week, and they will serve as the inspiration for today's watercolor tutorial. Be sure to stay till the end so I can show you a wonderful use for these mini watercolor paintings. Let's first take a moment to study the basic structure of a leaf. Notice how the largest, most prominent veins stretch all the way to the tips, with small, subtle lines in between. I'm also taking note of the direction of the veins. The larger ones move upwards, while the smaller ones branch out in all directions. Regardless of the type of leaf, this structure seems to hold true. I find it's easiest to draw in the larger veins first so they can act as a guide for your sketch, ensuring that your leaf shape stays somewhat uniform on both sides. I love the shape of these oak leaves, so I'm going to make mine similar, with curving lines moving from vein to form the rough pointed edges. Now let's fill in our leaf with watercolor paint. I usually start with the lightest color first, laying down a thin, watered down layer. I'm coming in next with something a few shades darker, but I'm purposefully not bringing my brush all the way to the ends this time. With my third color, slightly darker than the last, I'm really just laying it down over the lines of the veins. It's still wet from the previous layers, so the paint will spread out just a bit to create some depth. In my opinion, what makes a leaf so interesting is often the inconsistencies in color, and with that in mind, I'm dropping small amounts of brown and red into my leaf, loaded with more pigment than we used on the base layers. I'm tempted to leave the veins in pencil only, as I do like that muted look, but I think for the sake of the video, we'll paint over the lines and also add in those smaller veins that we mentioned earlier. I really enjoy this next part, adding the crispy edges, the holes, the imperfections that bring character to the leaf. I'll show some real-life examples in the corner. In this photo here, I'm focusing on the contrasting spots. Loading my brush up with plenty of paint and water, I'll splash blue-green all over the paper. Now, I'd like to show you this rustic envelope that I've decorated. Using adhesive photo corners, I've attached one of my mini leaf paintings. I think this would be great for sharing some recipes with family members. I've written them out on index cards and tucked them inside. Another use, if you have kids, for example, could be handing out school pictures or sports pictures to those aunts and uncles who usually get a wallet size or a 3x5. This is just a cute way to package them. Well, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching.